Welcome to Bible History class. As you already know, my name is Malachi, and I'm not only your teacher, but also the founder of this school. I'm excited to have all of you here, and I encourage you to engage and participate fully. Don't be shy. This is a space where you're encouraged to express your thoughts and ideas. Let me make this clear. I will not tolerate any bullying, discriminatory remarks, disrespect, or disruptions. It's important that we respect each other, regardless of differing views. Mutual respect is key to our learning environment. Now, I'm really glad to have you all here, and we're going to start this semester by diving into the story of Adam and Eve. I know that the regular Bible provides only summaries or brief mentions of characters and their histories, which is why we'll start from the very beginning. This way, you'll have a deeper understanding of God, His chosen people, His laws and statutes, and the reasons behind them. We'll explore who these laws were set for and why they were so significant. Too many people reject the Torah or are angry with God due to a lack of understanding, and I'm here to help you gain clarity. My role as your teacher is to guide you through this, so feel free to ask questions as we journey through Bible history together. Let's learn and grow in wisdom. I'm going to go over Jubilees chapters 2 and 3. Please turn your phones to silent and focus your attention. Jubilees chapter 2, 14 to 15. And after all this he created man, a man and a woman created he them, and gave him dominion over all that is upon the earth, and in the seas, and over everything that flies, and over beasts, and over cattle, and over everything that moves on the earth, and over the whole earth, and over all this he gave him dominion. And these 4 kinds he created on the 6th day, and there were altogether 22 kinds. Jubilees 3, 4 to 17. And the Lord said unto us, It is not good that the man should be alone. Let us make a helpmeet for him. And the Lord our God caused a deep sleep to fall upon him, and he slept. And he took for the woman 1 rib from amongst his ribs, and this rib was the origin of the woman from amongst his ribs. And he built up the flesh in its stead, and built the woman. And he awaked Adam out of his sleep, and on awaking he rose on the 6th day. And he brought her to him, and he knew her, and said unto her, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called my wife, because she was taken from her husband. Therefore shall man and wife be one, and therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Note, in verse 6 reads, He brought her to him, and he knew her, and said unto her, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called my wife, because she was taken from her husband. The term, he knew her, is often used in the Bible to signify sexual intercourse. It's a way of describing the intimate relationship between a husband and wife. Here are some examples. Genesis 4:1. And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. This is the first instance where the term knew is used to describe the intimate relationship that leads to conception. Genesis 4:17. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived, and bare Enoch. Here, Cain's relationship with his wife is described using the same term, knew, indicating their sexual relationship. Genesis 38:26. And Judah acknowledged them and said, She hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son. And he knew her again no more. This is another instance where the phrase knew her is used to describe the intimate union between Judah and Tamar. 1 Samuel 1:19. And they rose up in the morning early, and worshipped before the Lord, and returned and came to their house to Ramah. And Elkanah knew Hannah his wife, and the Lord remembered her. Elkanah's intimate relationship with his wife Hannah is described as knowing her, leading to the conception of their son, Samuel. In these examples, the phrase he knew her indicates sexual intercourse between a man and his wife, which is often used in biblical texts as a respectful and subtle way of referring to this intimate act. Genesis 4:17. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. Genesis 4:25. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. Many of you may have heard that the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, often mistakenly referred to as an apple, does not represent sex. The fruit itself has nothing to do with intercourse, and Adam and Eve were already intimate before she ate from the tree. I just wanted to clear that up. Additionally, it's important to understand that when someone becomes husband and wife, it is when they come together in intimacy. To clarify, if we look back at verse 6, after Adam knew Eve, he referred to her as his wife. Let's continue verse 8 to 17. In the first week was Adam created, and the rib, his wife. In the second week he showed her unto him. And for this reason the commandment was given to keep in their defilement, for a male 7 days, and for a female twice 7 days. And after Adam had completed 40 days in the land where he had been created, we brought him into the Garden of Eden to till and keep it. But his wife they brought in on the 80th day, and after this she entered into the Garden of Eden. And for this reason the commandment is written on the heavenly tablets in regard to her that gives birth. If she bears a male, she shall remain in her uncleanness 7 days, according to the first week of days, and 33 days shall she remain in the blood of her purifying. And she shall not touch any hallowed thing, nor enter into the sanctuary, until she accomplishes these days which are enjoined in the case of a male child. But in the case of a female child, she shall remain in her uncleanness 2 weeks of days, according to the first 2 weeks, and 66 days in the blood of her purification, and they will be in all 80 days. And when she had completed these 80 days, we brought her into the Garden of Eden, for it is holier than all the earth besides, and every tree that is planted in it is holy. Therefore there was ordained regarding her who bears a male or a female child the statute of those days that she should touch no hallowed thing, nor enter into the sanctuary until these days for the male or female child are accomplished. This is the law and testimony which was written down for Israel, in order that they should observe it all the days. As you can see in verse 14 above that I just read, this is the law and testimony that was written down, the same law and statutes that God gave to Moses on Mount Sinai. It is also referenced in Leviticus 12, which discusses childbirth for both male and female children. In other words, the Torah has existed since the beginning of creation. It was commanded to be followed during Moses' time when God made it known to the people. These laws and statutes are eternal ordinances. Therefore, if anyone wants to have a closer relationship with God and be part of the Messiah's new kingdom on earth, regardless of skin color, tribe, or whether you are an Israelite or a Gentile, you must keep the commandments. And in the first week of the first Jubilee, Adam and his wife were in the Garden of Eden for 7 years, tilling and keeping it. And we gave him work, and we instructed him to do everything that is suitable for tillage. And he tilled the garden, and was naked and knew it not, and was not ashamed. And he protected the garden from the birds and beasts and cattle, and gathered its fruit, and eat, and put aside the residue for himself and for his wife, and put aside that which was being kept. And after the completion of the 7 years, which he had completed there, 7 years exactly, and in the 2nd month on the 17th day of the month, the serpent came and approached the woman. And the serpent said to the woman, Hath God commanded you, saying, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Note: it's important to understand that God made it clear that Adam and Eve should not eat from the tree. There were consequences for disobedience, and those consequences were severe. The most severe consequence was death. God did not create Adam and Eve to die. Death and aging entered humanity only after they ate from the tree. From that moment on, anyone born from Adam and Eve would experience death, as they were cursed by their disobedience. Since then, human life has been marked by death, and the years of life have been reduced. God is serious about his commands. If he gives an order, you best follow it, because there will always be consequences. I will continue this discussion in the next class. In the meantime, read the chapters and bring any questions you may have so we can discuss them. I use the Sefer Bible, 3rd edition, and I highly recommend it because it includes the old books. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment on the channel. Thank you for watching.